Well, hello everyone. Welcome to ESPN Sunday Night Baseball on Replay Baseball 1993 style. And tonight we are from the Kingdome in Seattle. And there's a reason why we're in the Kingdome from Seattle. Look at the standings in the American League as done by the Stratomatic computer. You can see that Kansas City and Texas are tied for the lead. And Chicago's 1.5 games back. Seattle still hanging around at 5 games back. If they get hot, they can have some effect on the pennant race. Now, the final Sunday of the season, Texas does play Kansas City in Texas, so that's liable to be the last game. That will be 2 weeks from tonight. Next week, we're looking at the National League, and it'll be a game from the National League. And it will be the San Francisco Giants taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers from Los Angeles. That will be the game next week, next Sunday night. San Francisco has a slim 1.5 game lead over Houston and a 5 game lead over Atlanta. Bill Swift will not be pitching that game, by the way. It'll be somebody else. But anyway, it will be the Giants and the... I'm sorry, not the Giants and the Dodgers. I'm sorry, it's the Astros and the Dodgers. My bad. Astros-Dodgers are next week. Astros and Dodgers are next week. My bad on that. That's Portugal against Ramon Martinez. Now I remember the matchup. So next Sunday night, it'll be the Astros and the Dodgers from Dodger Stadium. Mark Portugal against Ramon Martinez. So there you see the standings on both sides of the house. Let's get everything back where I need it. I do have the game up on the computer, and I'm going to try like I did last week, although that was unsuccessful. Hopefully this will be more successful. I'm going to try to roll the dice and input the dice manually in the game, and have the computer keep everything for me as far as the box score and pitcher fatigue and things of that nature. So that's what I'm going to attempt to go for anyway. So the only thing I'm missing now is the action chart. So I've got that out there. I've got the rare play chart handy. So I think we're ready to go. I've got the score sheet that I printed from the Replay PC that has all the ratings pre-filled and everything like that. But since I'm doing the computer, I may try to do both. I'll see how it goes. Might be a little confusing to score it on the paper and on the computer, but maybe not so bad. Might not be that bad. That way I want to have a completed box score on paper to show you guys without having to run downstairs and print the box score off of the PC replay game. All right, so I think we're ready to go. Starting pitchers for today's game, tonight's game, Eric Hansen of Seattle and Mike Magnanti of the Royals. There you see the starting lineups and benches for both teams and the bullpens for both teams. So plenty of pitching arms, plenty of bench players. So if anybody needs to be pinch hit for later in the game, there's plenty to choose from. All right. Felix Jose will step into bat against Eric Hansen to get us started. And I'll do one more check. Make sure everything looks like it's in place. Let me make sure there's no focus problems. Looks like that's okay. So we are ready to go. Like I said, I will be scoring it on the computer as we go. So hopefully that will, well, not scoring it, but I'm going to input the dice rolls. And that way there won't be any mistakes. The computer will tell me if there's anything that's a little bit unclear as to which way to go, which direction to take. So with that in mind, let's get going on this ESPN Sunday Night Baseball from the Kingdome. Hansen, 2-3-1. And that's going to be a 1 on Jose with the 2 and a 3. 2 and a 1 here is a 2, total of 3. And, of course, anything 6 or less in column number 2 is a strikeout. So Felix Jose down on strikes, 1 away. And that'll bring up Greg Gagne with a spoon. Shortstop. And we get a 5-4-1. Could be a walk chance. You never know. 27 is the 5-4. It's a flyout chance. And a 5-1 is a 1, total of 28. And that is going to be a flyout. And let me check something here real quick. That was a fly out to right field. So fly out to right field by Gagne for out number 2, handled by Buhner. 2 down for George Brett. DH in tonight's game. We get a 4-5-1, and that's going to be a ground ball. It'll be handled by Amaral, the shortstop, and it's an easy play to end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down go the Royals, courtesy of Eric Hansen. And we go to the bottom of the first. Kansas City nothing, Seattle coming to bat, and pretty much a must-win game for Seattle if they want to have any hopes of catching Kansas City and Texas. They have to win these head-to-head matchups. All right, Rich Amaral, shortstop, steps to the plate. We get a 6-3-4. And a 6-3 is a 16, 6-4 is a 2, total of 18. That is a fly out to left. Handled out there by left fielder Kevin McReynolds, 1 away. And that'll bring up Brian Turang. Get a 1-4-3. And that's going to end up being a 35 and a 4 for a total of 39, which is a ground ball to first. Easily handled by Hamlin, and there's 2 away. So 2 up and 2 down to start the bottom of the first. And here's Junior. We get a 2-3-2. And that's going to end up being a 16 on Junior's card, 4 for Magnanti. That's a fly to right to end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down go the Mariners in their half of the first. 1 inning in the books. It's no score from the Kingdom. Again, all the pressure pretty much on Seattle because, well, it's pressure on Kansas City too, but if they lose this game and Texas wins their game, they're only 1 game back. They won't be 6 games back like Seattle would be with a loss. So here's Kevin McReynolds. 3-2-4. And that's going to be an 11 for McReynolds in column 3 and a 2 for Eric Hansen. That's a line out to shortstop. Total of 13 produces that line out to the shortstop, Amaral, for out number 1. 1 down, and that brings up Chris Gwynn, little brother of Tony. 4-2-2. Fielding chance. It's going to be a ground ball to Brett Boone. He'll make the play easily. And there's 2 away for Gary Gaetti. (5-1-1). And that's going to be a 31 and a 1 for a total of 32. And that's a ground ball to short again. So another play by Amaral takes care of it. He's been busy out there. 2 assists and a putout so far. Nothing doing for the Royals. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score. And if I can get this computer thing to assist me like this, I feel like it's helping me out a little bit. I'm not sure how it's translating to a recording or a video, but hopefully it's okay. Here's Jay Buhner. We get a 3-1-1, and that's going to be a ballpark check because we're in the shaded area. The 1 here is a 2 for Hansen. So we've got a 4 and a 2. Total of 6 at the moment, but we go to column 3 at the Kingdom, and the only way you get a hit in column 3, it has to be 7 or higher. Right now it is 6. The only way it becomes 7 is if this turns to a 5, and the only way that happens is if we roll a 6. So if we don't roll a 6, it's going to be an out. It'll be a fly out to center. 6 will be a single. That's a 5, so it's a fly out to center for out number 1, and Buhner is retired. So 1 down, and that'll send up Mike Blowers, the third baseman, against Magnanti. 3-2-4, and that's going to be a 2 and a 3, total of 5, which is a short fly to center. So that's 2 down, 2 flyouts to center field, and that brings up Brett Boone. Booney, 2-6-4. That's in the shaded area again. Ray's number is a 2, but of course that can change. The looping drive is to right field, so we're checking the range of the right fielder, Chris Gwynn. And if we look at Chris Gwynn, his range in right field is a 3. So that number has to stay a 2 or less for him to make the catch. We go to column 2. The only way that happens if we roll a 1 or a 2. Roll a 3 or higher, this number goes to 3 or 4, and the base hit is in play. So Kansas City needs a 1 or 2 to make the play. 3 or higher, Boone gets a hit. That's a 6, so Boone gets the single. 2-out single for Brett Boone. And that'll send up Greg Litton. First hit of the game for either team by Brett Boone. There's Litton, 4.55. And that's going to be a fielding check, 16. And the over here is the shortstop. And that is Gagne. Gagne is a total, I'm sorry, it's the Shumpert, not the shortstop. My bad. Let's check this again. 4.5. Well, it says shortstop, so why are they giving me Shumpert on the computer? I don't get this. Doesn't make any sense because it was 4.55 on the computer card. On the computer card, apparently it's giving him second base, but on the card and dice it says shortstop. So I'm going with the shortstop. I'm not going to worry about what the computer is. I'm using the computer as my tool, it's not my master. So I'm using the shortstop. That's Gagne. So let's look at Gagne's defensive rating, because that just didn't make any sense to me. Gagne's a 1. All right, Shumpert's a 4, Gagne's a 1. So the 1 and the 16, which was the 4.5 here was a 16, that's a total of 17 in column 4. And with the infield back, that's just a simple ground out. And it's going to go 6-3 to end the inning. So I'm not messing with the thing there. I'm not keeping fielding stats or whatever, so I'm just going to, and plus the stats I'm keeping are on Strat, not on the PC, because I didn't get that season until I was already halfway through this one. So that's going to do it for the Mariners. But it's funny how that was different on the computer than it was on the cards and dice. That was kind of interesting how that turned out. All right, we go to the top of the third now, and Bob Hamlin, first baseman, will step to the plate against Hansen. We get a 4.53, and again, so 4.5. The computer cards just say F. They don't give you the number until you do the result. So this could be the same deal. So let's try this. 4.53. They're telling me Boone. So over here again, 4.5 is actually the shortstop. So I'm going with the shortstop. I'm not going with the second baseman play on that. So shortstop result. Shortstop for Seattle is Amaral. And Amaral's number defensively is a 3. So we got a 3 from him. 4.5 is a 16 here, total of 19. And that's still going to be a ground out. But the computer's telling me it's a ground out to second, but it's really a ground out to short in my book. So that's 1 out. But the out's recorded. That's all that counts. Here's Brett Maine, the catcher. Brett, remember the Maine. 2.24. And that's going to end up being a base hit because that's that guaranteed 11 that you can't get out of. But there's a plus sign, which means he has to steal. So Hamlin does have to do that steal attempt. So per the computer, on the pitcher and catcher rating, the whole combination rating, the hold rating on Hansen is a 3. The defensive catcher rating for the catcher Hasselman is a 2. And when you cross-reference them, you get 33. So the key number here is 33. Key number is 33. And on the 33, all right, so if it's equal to or less than 33, he will be caught stealing. If it's 34 or higher, he will successfully steal. So 31, so he is going to get caught stealing. So he is caught stealing for the second out of the inning. So Maine gets the single, but then is caught stealing 2-4 for out number 2. Maine did have 3 steals on the season, but for some reason they had him stealing there, and it just didn't work. All right, here's Terry Shumpert. He only had 10 at-bats all season, so I had to print him from the PDFs. See what he can do against Hansen. 4-6-2. Another fielding chance. This one to Brett Boone, according to them. And it is Brett Boone, according to us, too. 4-2 puts it at second base. So the 4-6 is a 6, and he's there, and his total combined with a 6 make an easy ground out to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Royals here in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. And Mark Newfield. Don't know much about him. In fact, I don't think I know anything about him. But he's up. He started this game probably because he's facing a lefty. So Newfield is actually the designated hitter in this game. 2-3-5. And that's going to be a 16 and a 5. 16 here and a 5 here. Total of 21. That's a fly out to center field in column number 2. So 1 away. As Newfield flies to center. And here's the catcher, Hasselman. Number 9 hitter. 3-1-6. And that's going to be a 31 on the batter, 4 on the pitcher, and that's going to be a double to left field. So a double to left field for Hasselman. Double by Hasselman. It's a 1-out double. But he's aboard. And that will send up top of the order Rich Amaral. 5-2-1. And that's going to be a 27 on the batter, which is a fly out to right field. And there is no provision for the runner to go from second to third on that. Only possible chance would have been maybe a sacrifice fly. So it's 2 down. Wasn't deep enough to move the runner up. So with 2 outs, it's up to Brian Turang, the left fielder. Turang. Like that old song used to go. 1-4-5. And we get a 35 in column 1 and a 4 for Magnanti, total of 39. And that's a ground ball to first to end the inning. So taken to the bag by Hamlin, and that retires the Mariners. They do get a base hit on that double by Hasselman, but that was it. Hasselman gets stranded at second base. We go to the fourth, still no score from the Kingdome. And Felix, we're back to the top of the order for Kansas City. Felix Jose. Jose struck out to start the game, his first chance. 4-1-2. 4-1 is a 2. 4-2 is the second base. Now, see, they're doing the shortstop, which is weird on the computer, but it really should be going to, the 4-2 should be going to Brett Boone. So it's a 4-3 ground out. So little minor tweak there. I'm not sure why the computer has it backwards than, different than what the cards do. That's kind of strange that they would do it that way, but I don't guess it really matters in the long run. Here's Gagne. 1-5-6. 1-5 is a 5. 1-2 is a 1-6 is a 2. Total of 7. That's a pop out to second base. Boone will put that away. 2 down for George Brett. Brett grounded to short his first time. 6-1-5. 6-1's a 16. 6-5's a 3. Total of 19. It's a deep fly to right field, but not so deep that Buhner couldn't put it away, and he does. And it's going to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning turned in by Eric Hansen. He's given up 1 hit, but he's faced a minimum thanks to the caught stealing. So here is Ken Griffey Jr. He will lead off against Magnanti. Start the bottom of the fourth. Griffey, first time up, flew to right field. 1-2-1. 1-2 is a 1. 1-3 is a 3. Total of 4, so he will strike out. Griffey down on strikes. Brings up Jay Buhner. He flew to center his first chance. 6-2-1. 6-2 is a ballpark card. We're in that 8 area. 6-1 is a 1, so we're going to add 1 to whatever this total is here. Go to column 6. Buhner is a right-handed hitter. So we're looking at the bottom row in this top section. Roll 1d6 and see what shows up. It's a 4, so that's an 8. So it's going to stay an 8. So it stays an 8. The 8 and a 1 is a total of 9, and that is going to be a single. So Jay Buhner with the base hit. 1 out single. And interestingly enough, the Mariners have 3 hits. All 3 of them in the last 3 innings have come with 1 out. So they can't get that leadoff man on, but they sure do well with the 1 out result. Here's Blowers, 4-1-2, and this could be a double play. Yep, it's a 1, and it's a ground ball to, they're saying Gagne. I don't know why. It should be to the second baseman. So I'm going to call it 4-6-3 double play because that's what it should be. Computer says 6-4-3. Again, really does not matter. At the end of 4 complete, what matters is no score. And the way this is going now, the individual stats are irrelevant. It's all about team wins and losses. So Eric Hansen back out to face Kevin McReynolds to start the 5th. Looking for some offense out of this. McReynolds lined to short his first time. 3-5-6. 3-5 is, again, we're in the ballpark with a 3. So we're looking at column 3 right down here. And the 3-6 is a 3 for Hansen. So right now the total is a 6. If it goes to a 7 or higher, it'll be a base hit. The only way it goes to 7 is if this changes to a 4 or a 5. The only way that happens is if we roll a 4, 5, or 6. So a 4, 5, or 6 and McReynolds will get a hit. 1, 2, or 3, the play will be made. That's a 5, so McReynolds gets himself a base hit. Kevin McReynolds with a base hit. And that's a leadoff single. That's a big difference. The Royals have now 3 outs to move him up. Chris Gwynn, the batter. 2-3-2. 2-3 is a 2. 2-2 is a 2. Total of 4. That's a strikeout. So Gwynn is out on strikes, and that brings up Gaetti. Double play gets the Mariners out of the inning, if they can get it. 1-3-3. 1-3 is a 1. 1-3 is a 1. Total of 2. It's another strikeout. So Hansen says, I don't need double plays if I'm striking guys out. And that's true. So 2 down. Runner still at first for Bob Hamlin. 1-4-5. 1-4 is a 35. 1-5 is a 2. It's a ground ball to second, and that'll be the end of the inning. Nothing doing for the Royals. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still no score from the Kingdom. Mike Magnanti, he's not the ace of the team by any means. 4.08 ERA, but he's pitching pretty well and holding his own against Eric Hansen, who's a really good pitcher with a 3.47 ERA. So here is Brett Boone, 2.35. 2-3 is a 16. 2-5 is a 5 for a total of 21, which is a fly to center field in column number 2. And there's 1 away. I wish there was a way to show the chart on the video. I don't really have that ability. Some people have it where they can show the computer screen and this at the same time. I don't have that kind of tech savviness, so just got to do it like I do it and do it old school. Here's Litton, 5-3-3. Like I said, I put the O in old school. So 5-3 is a 6, 5-1, 5-3 is a 1, total of 7, and that's going to be a walk. So Litton will draw the free pass, and again, the Mariners get a runner on, but it's with 1 out. They have not gotten a leadoff guy on yet. It's always been with 1 out. So here's Newfield. 4-3-2. 4-3 is a 19. 4-2 is the second baseman, Shumpert. The computer says it's Gagne, but it's really Shumpert. So that's a total of 23 with the infield halfway. That is a single off the glove. 1 base advancement. So Seattle finally has something going, but there's already 1 out. That's the problem. They should have done this with nobody out. There are runners at first and second now, with 1 out for the catcher, number 9 hitter Hasselman. 6-4-1. 6-4 is a 58. That'll be extra bases, possibly. Or actually, it's going to be a single, I should say. Single to left field. 58, and there's a 1 under Magnanti for the 6-1. It's a total of 59. 59 says it's a single to left field, runners advance 1 base, runner on second with 5 speed scores, or with 2 outs. But he does not have 5 speed, and there are not 2 outs. So bases are loaded. The Mariners have the bases loaded. Best chance to score the game. Top of the order, Rich Amaral is up. Royal bullpen is starting to move around a little bit. Hippolito Pichardo is loosening in the bullpen. The infield is back for the double play because double play gets him out of the inning. 5-5-1. This could be a walk, perhaps. 5-5 is a 20. 5-1 is that's a walk. He's going to walk in a run. So a bases loaded walk has produced the first run of the game. Seattle leads at 1-0. Bases are still loaded with 1 out for Brian Turang. And it says we are going to the action chart, column 5 on the action chart. Or not column 5, but we're going to column M on the action chart. And that talks about wild pitches and things like that. So this we can roll. There's no stealing involved. So we're going to roll for that. That's a 6-2-3. 6-2-3. 6. So that's a total of 8, actually. So 8 is the wild pitch check, and that's a 3. Magnanti's wild pitch rating is a 2, so it will be a wild pitch. It will be a wild pitch. Wild pitch scores the run. Is now 2-0. As Newfield comes in to score, Hasselman will take third, and Amaral will take second on the wild pitch. Now the infield has to come in. Turang still at the plate. Infield is in, 4-4-5. And we get a 2 and a 1. Or 2 and a 5, rather, which is the shortstop. And so with the infield in, the runners had to hold. It's just a throw to first, and there's 2 away. Again, the computer said it was third base, but on our cards, 4-5 is the shortstop. So it's a 6-3 ground out for out number 2. And Ken Griffey is the batter, and they're going to walk Ken Griffey intentionally. No sense messing around with him at all. They will give the free pass to Ken Griffey. That'll bring up Jay Buhner, and that will constitute the end of Mike Magnanti's night. He will be lifted for a right-handed reliever. Jay Buhner is your new pitcher, or your new hitter, rather, and the new pitcher for the Royals coming into the ball game will be, actually, it will not be Hippolito Pichardo. My mistake. It'll be Stan Belinda. They just picked him up from Pittsburgh not that long ago. So Stan Belinda will be coming on to pitch. So we need to go make that change in the computer. Bringing in Belinda. Stan Belinda is on with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Belinda to Buhner. 1-5-6. That's a 4 and a 2, total of 6. 1-5 is a 4, 1-6 is a 2, total of 6. That's a strikeout. So Belinda got the job done to get out of further damage. But as it is, Seattle does put up 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th to take a 2-0 lead going to the 6th. And like I said, this is a must-win game for Seattle. And so far, they're holding up their end. But there's still 4 innings to go. Brett Maine will lead it off against Eric Hansen. Maine singled and was caught stealing his first time up. Got that 11 roll with the plus where he had to steal. 2-2-3. And he's going to get the same roll again. Got that 11 once again, so Brett Main once again will single and have to steal. We already know 33 is the magic number. So higher than 33, he will make it. Lower than 33, he is caught. This time he does make it. So this time he does steal it. Stolen base for Brett Main. How many times you see the catcher have 2 steal attempts in the same game? Very interesting. So he has stolen the base. And that brings up Terry Shumpert. Again, can't substitute until we get to the 7th inning. So Shumpert's going to have to bat. 2-2, and 2-2 is a 2 though. So not an 11 this time. He's a weaker hitter. So it's 2-2 is a 2. 2-5 is a 1. That's a total of 3. That's a strikeout. So big strikeout there for Hansen. And that brings up Felix Jose back to the top of the order. Hansen, no activity in the Seattle bullpen. Hansen is on his own right now, and he's doing quite well. 5-4-2. 5-4 is a 1. 5-2 is a 1. Total of 2. It's a ground ball to first. And Maine, because it went to the right side, will take third base. So handled over there by first baseman Litton. 3 unassisted, but the catcher, Maine, will take third base. But now there are 2 outs for Greg Gagne. 5-3-6. 5-3 is a 3. 5-6 is a 4. Total of 7. That'll be a walk. So now runners are at the corners. The tying runs are on the bases for George Brett. So this is the chance for Kansas City to get right back in this game. If they can get George Brett to give him a big hit. 1-6, and it's not going to happen. 1-6-5 will be a strikeout. Get that 45 with the infield back. It's a strikeout to end the inning. With less than 2 outs, that would have been a double play, most likely. But it's a strikeout when the infield is totally back. And so Kansas City leaves 2 on base. They might come back to regret that, but Hansen was up to the task. Belinda, of course, only facing the 1 batter, so he's good to come back. Be facing Blowers. 2-4-1. And a 2-4-1 is a 60 with a raised number of 4. The 2-1 is, let's see, the 1 means we're looking at, the blue die says the left fielder. And left fielder McReynolds is only a 2, so that will be a double. Mike Blowers has just doubled off Belinda because that's a 4. And McReynolds' range is only a 2. And it does not change because it's not in the colored area. It does not go to the ballpark. So a leadoff double for Mike Blowers. And now the first time Seattle's got the leadoff man on. And that'll bring up Brett Boone. 3-2-4. 3-2 is a 2. 3-4 is a 3. Total of 5. It's a short fly out to left field. 1 away. Actually, it was a double, not a single, so he should have been at second base. My bad. He is at second base. And with the fly to left, the runner has to hold at second base. So 1 down for Greg Litton. 1-4-3. 1-4 is a 35. 1-3 is a 1. Total of 36. Ground ball to third. But even with that going to third, the chart says the runner moves up. So it's a 5-3 ground out handled by Gaetti, but it was so deep that Blowers was able to sneak over and take third base. But there are 2 outs. And it's up to Mark Newfield. And again, we're not in the 7th inning, so we can't pinch hit yet. Mariners would love to pinch it with a lefty right now, but they're going to go ahead and stick with Newfield. 1-1-5, and that will be a strikeout. 1-1's a 2, 1-5's a 1, total of 3. That is a strikeout to end the inning. So 6 innings in the books now, and it's still Seattle 2 and Kansas City nothing. That's going to be it for Belinda. His day will be done. Figure out who the Mariners will come out with later as their pitcher. Eric Hansen is bordering on being fatigued, but he's still good to go. He can face 29 batters. And by my count, he's only faced 21, so he's still good to go. Kevin McReynolds will lead off. He is 1 for 2. 263. Going to the ballpark chart. That is a 5, but of course that can change. We're looking, the blue die says we're looking at the left fielder Turang. Actually, we're not looking at the left fielder because that's wrong too on the computer. I don't know why it does that. It says looping drive to left, but a 57 in column 2, the blue die being a 3 means it's the center fielder according to the chart. So that's what I'm going by. I'm not going by the computer. I'm going by the chart. 1 and 2 is left field, 3 and 4 is center, and 5 and 6 is right field. So we're actually checking Griffey, which can make a huge difference because Turang's a 3 in left field. Griffey is a 4 in center field. So since Griffey is a 4, this number has to drop to a 3. So in column 2, the only way it drops to the only way it doesn't drop to a 3 is if you roll a 6. So anything other than 6, and this is going to be an out. That's a 6, so it does drop in. Go figure. Even Griffey couldn't get that one. So McReynolds, courtesy of that number 6, gets the base hit. And that'll bring up Chris Gwynn. Now we are in the 7th, so pinch hitting can begin, but you're not going to pinch hit for a 300 hitter. And McReynolds with that leadoff single. Seattle bullpen now starting to stir a bit, as Hansen might be getting close to his fatigue factor. And looking ahead at the Royals lineup, they do have that lefty Hamlin, lefty Maine coming up. So Seattle does have left-handed action in their bullpen. They have 2 lefties down there. They have Kevin King, who's not very good at all. And they have Plattenberg. Well, neither one of them are very good, but if you're going to manage the way the manager would manage, they would probably be looking at bringing in a left-hander. So out of those 2, Kevin King's the least worst. His ERA is 6.17, where Plattenberg is, what is Plattenberg? Plattenberg is a 6.52, so lesser of 2 evils, I guess you could call it. But right now, Hansen's still in the game, facing Chris Gwynn. 1-3-5. 1-3 is a 3. 1-5 is a 2. Total of 5. That's a strikeout. Big strikeout there to get. 1 away for Gary Gaetti. Gaetti is 0 for 2, but he's a veteran. You're not going to pinch it for him, I don't think. 4-2-1. 4-2 is a 2. 4-1 is the first baseman. And for Seattle, that is Litton. And Litton is a 4. So the 4-2 was a 2. The 4-1 is a 4, total of 6 in column 4 with the infield halfway. And that is a potential double play. We have to go to the pivot chart. So pivot chart is where we need to go. And let's figure out the defensive rating of the pivot man. Well, the ball was hit to Litton, so shortstop Amaral is your pivot man. Amaral, defensively, at short, is a 3. So since he's a 3, in order for it to be a double play, we need a 1-4. If it's a 5-6, then it's just a fielder's choice. But a 1-4, we got a double play, and the inning will be over. And it is double play. 3-6-3 turned in by Seattle. A 3-6-3 double play takes care of things right there. 3-6-3 double play. All right, we go now to the bottom of the 7th, or the 7th inning stretch. I almost forgot about that. 7th inning stretch. I'll stretch with everyone else so I can stand up and take a quick break and check focus and everything else. Focus looks all right. Tabby's resting. She's quiet, not bothering anybody, so that's good to know. And we're ready to go. Kansas City does need a new pitcher. Coming up for Seattle, it is Hasselman, Amaral, and Turang, but we're in the 7th, so pinch hitters could be coming on. I think they're going to keep Hasselman and Amaral. They might pinch hit for Turang, though, so we'll see. Coming in for the Royals, let's see who they might want to go to. They're going to go to a right-hander out of the bullpen, the aforementioned Hippolito Pichardo. So Pichardo is in. Pichardo and Belinda have been used. So, whoops. So Pichardo is in. Hippolito Pichardo. So I need to make that move on the computer. Bring in Hippolito Pichardo. And he'll be facing Hasselman. 5-1-4. 5-1 is a 3. 5-4 is a 2. Total of 5 in column 5. And that's a ground ball to third base. So 1 away. Hasselman is retired. Brings up Rich Amaral. 5-3-5. 5-3 is a 40 with a C on it. 5-5 is a 3 here. That's total of 43. And that's going to be a walk. And we're also going to action chart C. So Amaral will walk. And that's going to take us to action chart C. So action chart C talks about stolen bases and whatnot. So now we need to roll and see what we get. We get an 8. So action chart C, an 8 is a pickoff error. So we come in here, pickoff error, possible error on a pickoff, roll against the pitcher's error rating. If roll is higher, all runners advance. Okay, so the pitcher's error rating, Pichardo's a 66, so it cannot be higher. So there is no pickoff error to worry about. Don't have anything to worry about there. There is no chance of that. So I need to fix something real quick. One moment. All righty. Brian Turang is the scheduled hitter. He is being called back. And the Mariners will be going to their bench for a left-handed hitter or possibly a switch hitter. And they're actually going to go to Dave Magadan. He will be the pinch hitter, but they're going to need a new left fielder. And the new left fielder is going to be Dan Howitt. Is going to be the new left fielder. But he's not a very good hitter, so they're going with a better hitter, Magadan. So Magadan will pinch hit, and then Howitt will be the new left fielder. So we need to make those changes in the computer and on my score sheet. So Magadan pinch hitting for Turang. Pichardo, 1-1-4. Probable base hit. 1-1's a 10, 1-4. Oops, let's bring it over here. 1-1's a 10, 1-4's a 4, total of 14. That is going to be a single up the middle. No error involved. There is no error involved. So let's check the base running. On a 14, runners with 4 or 5 speed advance 2 bases. Runner on first is Amaral. He's got a 4 speed, so he will get the 2 bases. So Amaral will take third. That'll put runners on the corner on the pinch hit single by Magadan. And then what that will do is now we move Howitt. We'll take over in left field. But now you have Ken Griffey coming up. And that's going to be it for Pichardo. They're going to bring in the lefty to face Ken Griffey because it's getting to be dire times for them. So Pichardo will have to leave and be timeout for a pitching change. Okay, we do have a new pitcher for the Royals. It is left-hander Billy Brewer. He'll be facing Ken Griffey with runners on the corners and 1 out. Big spot here, infield for the Royals. Still going to play halfway, looking for that double play. That would get them out of the inning. 4-5, and they won't get it because that's a 16 there. 4-5-6. So 4-6 here is a second baseman, and that's Shumpert, who's a 4. And that's going to be a 20 total in column 4 with the infield halfway. And that's a single knocked down by the fielders. Runners advance 1 base. And that's going to be an infield single for Ken Griffey. And the Royals now find themselves down 3-0 to Seattle. And now here comes Jay Buhner. Now we're in 1993, so Brewer does not have to face 3 batters that they don't want. And I think with the Buhner coming up, he's got a double here in 6-1. That would be an out against a righty. So plus you got the 3-6 results. That's 2 chances out of that grid. So they're going to the bullpen, are the Royals, and they're going to right-hander John Habian, who they got from the Yankees earlier in the season. So John Habian is on. John Habian trying to get these last 2 outs. Habian now against Buhner. 3-4, we got the rare play chance. 3-4 is a rare play chance. So we have, the roll was a 3-4-5. Rare play chance. We're going to roll and see what we get. We get a 5. That is an odd number. So we are going to the rare play chart. Rare play chart, and I will show that in the book. So we're going with runners on base, on first and second, I should say, not just on base, but specifically first and second, with 1 out. And we're going to roll 2 d6s and see what happens. We get an 11. So we come over here to 11. Runners on first and second, and 11, and there is 1 out. So with 0 and 1 outs, we use this number. With 2 outs, we use that one. Center fielder charges and makes an apparent shoestring catch, but umpire rules that he trapped the ball. Runner from first had to hold between first and second, and now is forced out at second. Center field to shortstop. So how about that? What an interesting play that was. So the runner, let's see here. Other runners advance to third and batter is safe at first. So there you go. So 2 outs. But the run on first for some reason, had to hold up. And I don't know why the run on second didn't hold up, but the run on first certainly did. So it's going to actually go as a fielder's choice. 8, I believe it said it was 8-6 on a fielder's choice. Yep. Center field to shortstop. So it's 8-6. Don't see too many 8-6 fielders. Ken Griffey was out at second base, 8-6. Buhner reaches on the fielder's choice, and going to third was Magadan. So now, with 2 outs, brings up Mike Blowers. So Habian now trying to finish out the inning, limit the damage to just 1 run, keep his team in the game. 4-1-5, he will do it. 4-1 is a 1. 4-5 is the second shortstop, rather. And that will be a ground out to end the inning. But a run comes in for Seattle, and they take a 3-0 lead. 3-0 as we go to the 8th. Now, what about Eric Hansen? Is he still available? That's the question. Computer is not showing him as being tired, but I think they might go ahead and pull him here and go to the bullpen. Let's see. If they bring in a lefty to face Hamlin, they're going to pinch it with a right-handed hitter. So they're going to go with a righty out of the bullpen. And they will go to... They go to Brad Holman out of the bullpen. So Brad Holman is your new pitcher for Seattle. He'll be facing Hamlin, Maine, and Shumpert. Now, do you pinch hit for Hamlin is the question. You could use Joyner here, so I think they're going to go with Wally Joyner and take Hamlin back. And Wally Joyner will pinch hit and stay in the game to play first base. So Joyner it is. Just seems to be the prudent move at this point. So Joyner will be the pinch hitter and stay in the game to play first base. To start this top of the 8th against the new pitcher. And we need a new left fielder, obviously, and that is Howitt for Seattle. So can't forget to put Howitt in left field on the computer. And then we're going to pinch hit for Hamlin with, I don't know where he's on the computer screen here. Joyner, I showed Joyner as being available in Diamond Mine, but the computer here is showing he's not available, which is kind of weird. So I'll have to go with somebody else. So I'm going to go with Brian McRae instead. So 86 that. They're saying Joyner's not on the roster. I don't know why, because I think he is, but we'll go with it. Wilson will be the pinch hitter, and we will need a new first baseman in the bottom of the 8th, and let's see who they could use for that. Pretty much anybody can play first base, you would think. Maybe. Yeah, Gary Gaetti can play first base. And then they could bring in to play third base Phil Hyatt. So it's a little bit of shifting around. So what's going to happen is Gaetti's going to move to first base. Hyatt's going to be at third base. But pinch hitting will be Brian McRae. So Brian McRae is your pinch hitter for Kansas City in place of Hamlin. And Phil Hyatt will take over at third base. So even though it's American League, you get these little changes once in a while that has to get carried out. So here we go. Brian McRae, your batter, against Brad Holman. Leading off the top of the 8th, 3-0 Seattle. Holman trying to hold the lead. McRae, the pinch hitter. 4-1 is a 4. 4-3 is the third baseman. So that is Blowers. He is a 3. Total 7. That's an easy ground ball to third. And McRae is out. So it's ground ball to third. 4-1 away. And they'll send up Brett Maine. They will leave him in there. Why not? He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. 4-3 is an 11. That's a error check. And 6 is second base. That is Boone. So let's check his error rating. Boone's error rating is a 62. So this has to be higher than a 62 to be an error. It's a 62 on the number, so it's not higher. It is not higher. Boone will make the play. Boone makes the play. Tough play, but he made it. 2 down. And now they will pinch hit for Shumpert for sure at second base. So they will pull Shumpert, and they will go to a pinch hitter. Hubie Brooks will pinch hit, and then Jose Leand will come in and play second base. So we're going to have Leand take over for Shumpert at second base. And Hubie Brooks is going to pinch hit. It's a better hitter. So 2 outs and the base is empty. And so on the computer, I need to bring up Hubie Brooks. 1-6 is a 45. That's a strikeout right off the bat. And so Hubie Brooks strikes out in the pinch. Nothing doing for the Royals. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is still 3-0. And let's see what, Seattle is now set up for their closer Power in the ninth. So now we need defensive changes. We need Jose Leaned at second base. And at first base, we need Gary Gaetti. And at third base, we need Phil Hyatt. And that will complete the defensive changes. Now, what do they wish to do here? Boone is your leadoff batter. So coming in for the Royals will be ID Jester's favorite pitcher, Mark Gubaza. Mark Gubaza. Or as ID would call him, Mark Gubaza. So Gubaza is on. You're not going to go to your closer when you're down 3-0. So he'll be on to face Boone. Boone, Litton, and Newfield, but we could pinch hit for Newfield because he is a DH. So they may pinch hit for Newfield. In fact, they probably will. So Gubaza with the pitch, 4-5-4. And that is a ground ball to third. And that's going to end or be taken up by the... I got it backwards, don't I? Need the batter over here. My bad. They say third, but the cards actually say short on the 4-5, so it's actually a ground ball to short. Not that it matters. It's an out. That's all that really counts. One away, and that brings up Litton. So Litton is your batter. 3-1-6. 3-1 is a 31. 3-6 is a 5. Total of 36. That's a double. A crack of a double there by Greg Litton. He doubles as the Mariners try to get an insurance run here in the bottom of the 8th. Newfield will be called back, and the Mariners will send up a pinch hitter as the DH. They don't have a whole lot on the bench to pinch hit with. Valley's 258 hitter. Vizquel's 255. But you like to leave both of those for defense if you possibly can. They're going to bring in actually Mackie Sasser to pinch hit. So Sasser will pinch hit for Newfield. And he will take over as the DH. So Sasser is your new DH. Mackie Sasser. New DH. Gubaza to Sasser. 6-3 is a 16. 6-6 is a 2. Total of 18. Total of 18, and that's going to be a fly out to left field. Runner does not get to go to third. So there are 2 away for Bill Hasselman, catcher. 1-2 is a 35. 1-5 is a 2. Total of 37 in column number 1. 37 in column number 1 is a ground ball to second, and that's going to end the inning. So Gubaza does his job, or Gubaza as he's sometimes known, does his job, keeps the Mariners at bay, 3-0 as we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Royals, and they'll have to do it against Ted Power. He is the closer for Seattle. So Ted Power will be coming on to pitch. And he'll be facing top of the order, Jose, Gagne, and Brett. Not much left on the bench to use as a pinch hitter, so I think they're going to stick with who they have. And, of course, Power they acquired from Seattle earlier in the season. So Power will be facing Jose, top of the 9th, 3-0 Seattle. 1-5 is a 5. 1-2 is a 3, total of 8. And an 8 in column number 1 is simply a pop to third, so 1 away. Jose is out of there. Here is Gagne, 280 hitter, so you're not going to pinch hit for a 280 hitter. 3-5-3. 3-5 is a 3. 3-3 is a 3. Total of 6, and it has to be a 7 or higher to be a hit, so it's a fly out to left for out number 2. Last chance. It is George Brett. Last hope for the Royals. 2-5-5. 2-5 is a 16. 2-5 is a 4. Total of 20, and that's a fly to right field to end the ball game. So that's going to do it. The Mariners, in a must-win situation, comes through and shuts out the Kansas City Royals by the score of 3-0. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Royals. 3 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for the Mariners. And I'll get the totals from the box score real quick. Winning pitcher was Hansen, losing pitcher Magnanti, and the save goes to Ted Power. Left on base totals, Kansas City left on 3, Seattle left on 9. So what that does for the standings in the American League, we will update these standings. Seattle now 80 and 69. Kansas City 84 and 65, so they are a half game back of Texas, depending on what Texas does. Seattle is now 4.5 back of Texas, depending on what they do. So if Texas loses, they'll be back to a first place tie with Kansas City, but Seattle will be within 4 games. So interesting things can happen there. And like I said, next Sunday night, we'll be in L.A. as the Houston Astros, only a game and a half back of San Francisco, will be visiting the Los Angeles Dodgers. Next Sunday night, that'll be Mark Portugal for Houston against Ramon Martinez for the Dodgers. So hope you enjoyed that presentation of ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Replay Baseball 1993 season. And from Seattle, the Mariners get the must-win on a 3-0 shutout, combined shutout between mostly Eric Hansen, but then Holman and Power finished it out as well. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.